Shavua Tov. Tonight I would like to dedicate the Divrei Torah in the respect of the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu. Tonight is his birthday and his Memorial Day. And my wife, uncle, Rav Avner Halevi ben Yael, that tonight is 19 years since he passed away. But even though he passed away, this children operation, or Avner, to bring lights to thousands of people around the world, should be רצון שיהיה נחת רוח, שמליץ יושר בשמיים, לכל המשפחה, לכל עם ישראל בעזרת השם.
Amen.
The parasha of this week, we talk about constructions. We're talking about building a house of worship, a house of Hashem, in the desert. How do we call it? Mishkan. Now the Torah says that Moshe is telling to Am Israel, first of all, let's see where we are now in the time frame of the Torah, Parashat Truma, where it's standing. I think it's agreed by most of the rabbis that we came out of Egypt on the 15th of Nisan. After 7 days we crossed Yam Suf. Nachon?
Right.
After 3 months we came close to the Mount Sinai, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Okay? The 6th of Sivan, we received the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu is going to the mountain on the 7th of Sivan, and after 40 days, Hashem is telling him, go down, Yudzayin B'Tammuz. There is a celebration downstairs, dedication of a new golden calf. Moshe is coming down, fight with Am Israel. It was Yudzayin B'Tammuz. After 3 days, Kaf B'Tammuz is going to heaven, and Tammuz and all Chodesh Av, he asks for mercy. Erev Rosh Chodesh Elul, Hashem is telling him, I forgive you. Moshe is going down and say, Rabotai, Hashem forgive us. And the next day on Rosh Chodesh Elul, Moshe Rabbeinu is going up for the 3rd time to bring the Torah. He comes down when? On Yom Kippur. The first day nobody speaks to him, and the next day, Machorat, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them, I want you to build a temple. And they start to collect the items for the temple, what we read today. And on the 15th of Tishrei, Chag HaSukkot, they start to build the temple. So Parashat Truma that we learned today, that we read today in the Torah, happens if we say that it came out Nisan, and this is Tishrei, 6 months after we went out of Egypt. The 15th day of Nisan, and the 15th day of Tishrei when we started to build the Mishkan. The Mishkan was built in 2 months, and on the 24th, 25th of Kislev it was ready. But Hashem told them, wait. We have to wait to Rosh Chodesh Nisan. And Kaf Gimel Be'adar, they started the preparation. For 7 days Moshe was Kohen Gadol. And on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they built the Mishkan. And it was one of the happiest days in the history when fire came from heaven and burned all the offerings. And unfortunately, it was a day that we lost 2 of the best scholars in the Jewish history, Aaron HaKohen children, Nadav and Avihu. So, but this now we are in this point that we are on the time of after Yom Kippur, between Sukkot, when Moshe Rabbeinu makes this statement. There are many questions about it because we are going to read about the golden calf in 2 weeks. Now we're talking about already 6 months after. It's one of the facts that they want to say there is no, in the Torah, it's the history events, they are not written by the chronicle events. There is a certain order that Moshe Rabbeinu put on purpose. But this is not the issue of today because this is something else. One rabbi says, "La'akdim refuah la'maka," to show the medication before the sickness happens. This we live. But I would like to concentrate today in about 4 or 5 levels of depth in the concept of what Moshe Rabbeinu is asking from Am Yisrael. And hopefully by the end of the day we will have a better understanding what is the purpose of building. I will start with introduction. I believe you will agree with me that nobody really want to teach us the skills how to build aron and dvarim keelu from construction point of view. We're looking about over here a certain divine mission that applies to it. The first hint in our parasha is the pasuk, "Ve'asu li mikdash," and they should build for me a temple. "Ve'shachanti betocham," and I should be among them. It might sound good in English that the real pshat of what Rashi says over here, that inside of the tents, the house of Israel, there should be a place, the Choni Chudo, the house of God, the house of worship. It should be a part of Am Yisrael. But in Hebrew, most of the commentary on the Torah say it's a problem. Katuv, "V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocham." It has to be, if the purpose is to build a house, it should be, you should build a temple for me. But what's mean I should be dwelling among them? Why not I should dwell in my house? You build for me a house. So the first understanding will say, okay, so there is a house, so there is a structure of a community. People have their own houses, but in the middle there is a synagogue. People are coming and praying and going. It's become a part of the deal. But the Orach Chaim on the parasha, he goes to a totally different direction, and he asks from a different point of view. He says that you call it "V'asu li mikdash," using the word temple. Then they say, but you have to build a Mishkan. Mishkan in Judaism, in the Torah, mean a movable place, a movable house, a tabernacle. That you build a tent, then you assemble it, disassemble it, and continue. So we ask why you are changing from the word Mikdash, temple, to the word of a movable house. Why you don't stick with the word Mishkan or the word Mikdash? Or why it says, "V'asu li mikdash v'shachanti betocho," why it says "v'shachanti betocham" v'lo betocho? So it says over here the follow. ועשו לי מקדש. צריך לדעת למה קראו מקדש ואחר כך קרא לו משכן. דכתיב את תבנית המשכן. נראה כי אומרו ועשו לי מקדש היא מצוות עשה כולל את כל הזמנים בין במדבר בין בכנסתם לארץ ישראל, זמן שיהיו ישראל שם לדורות. וצריכים היו ישראל לעשות כן אפילו בגלויות. אלא שמצינו שעשר השם כל המקומות מעת שנבנה בית המקדש. The first understanding Orach Chaim say, there is a mitzvah from the Torah. If you come to a place, Jewish people are there, you have to build a synagogue. Even more than this, according to him. there is a mitzvah, theoretically, to build a temple. Like in Yerushalayim, all over. According to, שימו לב, אור החיים says, there is a mitzvah, ועשו לי מקדש, to build in the desert, in Israel, anytime, any place in the world that people are going to be there, וצריכים ישראל לעשות כן אפילו בגלויות. The understanding was that there is a mitzvah to build a temple, even in New York. Not a synagogue, a temple with Aaron, with Mizbeach, with Kohanim, everything.
If you build the Mizbeach, we cannot bring offering outside the Yerushalayim.
אלא הוא אומר, after Shlomo HaMelech built Beit HaMikdash, there was a decision, כי לא באתם עתה אל המנוחה ואל הנחלה. Therefore, from the time of Shlomo HaMelech 3,000 years ago, they made a decision. Today, no temples anymore. But if there was not the decision of Shlomo HaMelech, he said there was a mitzvah to build Beit Mikdash. No, not a real temple, you know. It's Kohanim, Levim, Israelim, not just politics. ולזה לא אמר, ועשו משכן שיהיה נשמע כל אותו זמן למצווה זו, אלא שציווה דרך כלל. Therefore, why he doesn't say, why we say a temple and a Mishkan? Because the mitzvah that every Jew, if there is a community of Jewish people, they are entitled to build a temple. It's very interesting. One of the history in Judaism, there was in Egypt, there was a huge community, Jewish community. And they built a temple. It's called the Chonyo Temple. And it was with korbanot, with offerings. Chachamim were opposing this. But Omer Or HaChaim, that the concept was right. We are here, we can't go in Yerushalayim, we want to make korbanot. It's very interesting what the Or HaChaim says. Omer Or HaChaim, to prove himself, the Rambam, the Maimonides says, Hilchot Bet HaBchira, mitzvah taseh, to build a house to Hashem, he says, V'asu li mikdash. He used this pasuk. It means that the mitzvah of V'asu li mikdash applies to every generation, every location. After Shlomo HaMelech, separately, they abandoned all the other places. So, but at least when we build a synagogue and we help a synagogue, is definitely a part of the mitzvah of building a temple. We call our synagogue, we call it Bet Knesset, Bet Mikdash Me'at. Small. Yes.
Who and why exactly they made the decision not to build outside Yerushalayim?
They used to, after we built the temple in Yerushalayim, so the prophets in this generation say that the will of Hashem is to exclude everything. And I believe the answer is because we don't want people to live in America. Or in Bukhara, or in Germany, or in Australia. There is at least a desire from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we should live in Israel. Of course, we are over here and we are trying to keep Torah mitzvot, and it's wonderful. But the ultimate thing, a part of being a normal nation, is to be on your own land, with your own people, with your own government. We are so many years among the goyim, so we start to think like this already. That to go to Israel. Before Rosh Hashanah, I told you a story about there was a rabbi that every night, midnight, used to wake up and say Tikkun Chatzot. He crying about Yerushalayim. Hey, when Hashem should build Beit HaMikdash, when we'll go to Yerushalayim. So once he came to somebody, simple person that doesn't know so much, at 12 o'clock at night he started to cry. So the wife said to the owner, see, maybe the rabbi doesn't feel well, maybe we have to call the doctor. He's crying 12 o'clock at night. So you say, Rabbi, everything is okay? You say, yes. Why you are crying? He said, Beit HaMikdash is destroyed and Yerushalayim is not built and I don't know what to do and I'm crying to Hashem. So she asked him, the wife asked her, why Rabbi is praying so much? She said, because I'm praying that we are going to, the Mashiach will come, he'll take us to Yerushalayim, he'll build Beit HaMikdash, and we'll be Kohanim, Leviim, Israelim. You know, you're going to feel so close to Hashem. So the wife said to HaKadosh, to the husband, say to the rabbi, we don't go nowhere. We have 4 cows, 10 chicken, and 3 goats. If we go to Israel, who is going to take care of them? So the rabbi say, tell her that if something happened in the Kozakim and thief will come, and gangster will come and take everything, then what? Then you come to Israel. So she said, tell to the rabbi that from her concern, he can take the gangster and go to Israel, leave them alone over here. If it's up to her, take them and go, and leave us alone, please. You know, I have the goats and the sheep and the cows. So this because we are so believe in the Galut, we lost our connection to our own land. Now there's going to be article in the newspaper now, they're offering to buy graves in Israel. This is what we say that they call the cemetery, they call it Bet Chaim. So when we read the Haftarah, we say, Rachem al Tzion ki Bet Chayenu. When is the time to go to Israel? So we say, maybe come before when you can go and can still move or go and live over there and make the mitzvot over there. Rachem al Tzion ki Bet Chayenu. No? Over there, we have a place to go at least. But this is because of the concept that we are so far away from the normal behavior of a person that belongs to the land that he is walking in. So we are Jews, but we are American, and we are Bukharian, and this, and we are Russian, and with this, and we have 4 or 5 passports, and it's so instilled in us. You can be just a Jew, you know. We have a problem with this. We are very sophisticated in this.
From answer that Hashem told to the prophets that we should not build to understand. But let's say building in Yerushalayim itself or neighboring town building the same Beit HaMikdash, why not?
No, after Haramor, the Temple Mount was sanctified, we say this is the place. Finished.
Sanctified means
Hashem holified it. He made this is the holy place. This Arava. Until today, we are not allowed to walk on. Today there is a mosque over there. We're not allowed to go over there.
right.
Why? Because we are not pure enough to go there. So in a way, now it's in the heart of Israel, out of Yerushalayim, but you're not allowed to go inside. לפי דעת הרמב"ם זה איסור כרת.
Like we must not go there
until the red cow and they're going to pour, the Mashiach will come and take all of us. Ramein Tumah b'tzibur. But this is Hashem. Hopefully by Chodesh Nisan we're going to teach you this halachot. So this is the first understanding, but still it's very difficult. Why is it difficult? Because when you make a house of worship, it means that you go inside the house, you pray. When you go out and go to your house, you can do whatever you want. You go once a week to the synagogue or to the church, wherever they go, and after they left, they say, okay, see you next week and leave us alone. In Judaism, it goes a bit different. I saw that maybe if you're going to wider understanding is that V'shachanti betocham, that Hashem demands from each of us that our house, where we live, not in Yerushalayim, will be like a small temple. What does it mean? That when you come to your house, when I come to your house, I have to feel that I come to a Jewish house. If I come to the living room and I see nice, comfortable sofa and armchairs, it's wonderful, but it doesn't make you house of God. But if you see over there a nice library of holy books, and if you see in the middle a small place for the Shabbat candelabras, and you see over there is the Chanukiah for Hanukkah, and you see over there Megillat Esther ready for Purim, and you see over there the plate for Pesach ready over there. So you start to feel that this house is not just a nice house, it's a small temple. So there is a demand, big tzaddikim pictures, a picture of Yerushalayim, of the temple. There is a mitzvah in this understanding, v'shachanti betocham, that each of us, in his own house, when I come to your house, if you come to my house, you will say, okay, over here is like Beit HaMikdash, is a house of Kedusha. You know my famous story, somebody, he just spoke to me, it happened every few months. Somebody built a new house and he bought, Baruch Hashem, and he gave me a whole prescription that he bought the floor from Italy, and he bought from Germany, this from Australia, and this from Petersburg, and this from... When he asked for mezuzot, he asked me, Rabbi, give me something cheap because I am broke. So I told him to buy a marble from Italy, to pay for the shipment, to pay $10,000, you don't, but to pay $1,000 for mezuzot, it's become a big burden. This was over here, the mitzvah of Shachanti Betocham mean, V'asu li Mikdash, your house. When I come to your house, Hashem say, when I come to visit you, it should be a house of a Jew. And not a house of a Russian businessman or American stock market shareholder, whatever. It should be a house of a Jew. And this is something which is another depth of Mazen Ikra V'asu li Mikdash, not a temple in Yerushalayim, in your own house. And if you go to this, we can go to a deeper depth of this, is that the only way to bring the Shekhinah to your house is to live peaceful with your spouse. You can be the biggest tzaddik in the world. You can wear 8 different tefillin on yourself and pray in Chudov 3 times a day, 6 times a day. If you don't have the ability, if you don't work on yourself to live peacefully with your spouse, there is no Shekhinah over there. So somebody asked me, Rabbi, where is more Kedusha? Where there are 10 people in the synagogue, when there are 2 people in the house? I told him, maybe the Kedusha is the same, but you have to see, in order to, in the synagogue over here, to bring Kedusha, we need 10 people. In the house, we need just 2. It's maybe 5 times more, each of you, 5 times more power. So, V'asu li Mikdash v'shachanti betocham means that my responsibility, your responsibility, husband and wife, to do everything that you can, not to argue. Because when there is no peace in the house, Kadosh Baruch Hu cannot come inside the house. Katuv, Amarech Amo Yisrael Bashalom. Everything is come from the word Shalom. The word Bashalom is the same letters of the word Malbush. Malbush is clothing. Hashem is going to come to the house with a blessing. But if there is no peace, everything goes to pieces, broken to pieces. And this is something which is another depth, V'asu li Mikdash v'shachanti betocham. You can build the nicest temple, but if God forbid there is no harmony and there is no peace in the house, it doesn't mean anything. And somebody came to him, spoke to me, that husband and wife, they have 2 people, husband and wife, and they live in a nice house. The house has, Baruch Hashem, 18 bedrooms. And they tell me that they don't have space for each other. I say you can change every one day another bedroom. 18, you can go twice a month, you can go. They say, no, the house is too small. Why? Because when there is no peace in the house, it doesn't worth anything. V'asu li Mikdash v'shachanti betocham, when it applies to husband and wife, demand from us to find a way to live together. Because if not, there is no way to bring Kedusha in the house. It's become cold because of lack of Kedusha. But when the husband and the wife, they try all the time to work on themselves with the ego and anger management and man kibudam to kibudi, and when they try to work on these issues and let it go and not let it interfere in their relationship, they are building another house of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Once my wife showed me a midrash that the Kedusha of Beit HaMikdash should be like the Kedusha in the tents of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. So all the purpose of building Beit HaMikdash was to do what? To have the same Kedusha, the same holiness that was in the house of Abraham and Sarah. Abraham and Sarah was a very regular house. People are coming, going, they make them food, they make them bread, they make them this. But it was so much Kedusha over there, people went inside the house, they didn't want to leave. So, so we spoke about the idea of building a temple. We're talking about the house should be like Jewish. We're talking about peaceful. But then I saw in one of the parashot talks about this issue, a very interesting Orach Chaim. Today we go with Orach Chaim, Rav Chaim ben Attar, Tzaddik Levracha, and he asked a question. There is in Sefer Vayikra, there is a mitzvah. Hashem tell us, "V'amart aleim kedoshim tiyu." Hashem asks us to be kadosh, to be pure, to be holy. Why? Because Hashem say, "I am holy," so you have to be holy. And he's asking a question: since when Hashem gave reasons to us why to make mitzvot? Hashem telling you have to put tefillin because I am holy? Hashem tell to you, wife, you have to go to mikveh because I am holy? Why Hashem say over here, Kedoshim to you have to be holy? Why? Because I am holy. What does it mean? And then over here he start to go to really very deep. And he say basically that in order to be holy, to be kadosh, is to understand that this world with all the importance is not so important. On Friday, I was arrested in the news, and I opened to hear the news in the radio. There was an American, very important figure in America that was caught doing many ugly things. So for 30 minutes he said a speech about forgiveness, asked forgiveness from his wife, from his children, from his friends. And basically, in between his words, he said, I made mistake because I was selfish, thinking about myself, don't appreciate what I have, and the power that God gave me was used against me. So it was a very nice way of saying, start to do tshuva, but I was missing one thing that I would like to discuss about it tonight. He talked about morals, values, to be loyal, to be good. But this is what is understanding. There is demand different as a Jew that God asking from us. He asks us to be holy, which is a totally different thing than to be a nice person. So what is to be holy? So we say like this. הוא אומר, והעניין כי קדושים תהיו עשי התורה, יהיו פרושים מן העריות ומן העבירה, כמו שאומר רש"י, אבל בתורת כהנים ראיתי פרושים תהיו, והתקדשתם והייתם קדושי, כשם שאני קדוש, ככה אתם קדושים. He says like this, צריך לדעת מהו המכוון של התורה, המכוון של מצווה זו. ונראה שבא הכתוב לתת עשה על העריות שציווה עליהם פרשה הקודמת, והוסיף עליהם לעבור עליהם גם בעשה. עוד ירצה לומר שבן אדם, when he doesn't make a sin, he make מצווה, and if he make מצוות עשה שנדברים לקדושים, which really means, ככה הוא אומר, שהקדוש ברוך הוא says, that if a person become קדוש, היא מקדש את הקדוש ברוך הוא. Do you understand? And I will explain. God, when created the world, He created the world as a tool for us to doing mitzvot. Why He gave us the hand to put tefillin? Why He gave us a door to put a mezuzah? But there is a certain nature in this world to use the power of imagination and to go out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Huh? It's the freedom of the choice, but it comes like this, that Hashem wants you to be powerful. Hashem wants you to be happy. But Hashem doesn't want that the power will corrupt you. I don't want you to live in a tent. I want you to buy a house. I don't want you to drive bicycle. If you can drive a car. But you should not take it more than its importance. This is understanding to be holy. Do you understand what I'm saying? It means that he says, when he continues, he says that שלא יאמר האדם שלא עשה הכתוב אלא מעשה העריות, אבל לא בחינת החושב ההסתכלו ושאר דקדוקי התיאור אשר רבו. He says basically that Hashem wants us to be involved in this world, wants us to leave this world, but wants us to be careful. Don't let the world to leave you alone.
התנאים.
Huh?
התנאים. הם לא רצו enjoy from this world.
Why not?
They are all תנאים was...
Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, every day there was in his table the most expensive fruits and vegetables in the world.
אבל הוא לא נהנה.
Huh?
הוא לא נהנה.
מה פירוש שלנו? לא אכל את זה?
לא יודע.
He ate it.
זה לא היה חשוב בשביל.
Oh,
לא היה חשוב.
he did it. It was nice, it's good, but it wasn't so important.
אבל הרבה תנאים הם היו עניים והיו חיים
Yeah, but
בעניות ועניות.
this depends what Hashem gives them. Rabbi Elazar ben Charson was multi-millionaire. Rabbi Elazar ben Orkinos, his father gave him a lot of wealth, and they were a lot of rich people. It's not a contradiction. That to be holy is not to be poor and miserable. There is in the other religion, there is, if somebody wants to be close to Hashem, he has to go and sleep on this bed with nails, and he has to torture himself and go inside the shellac, the snow, when he's naked and freeze to death, and go inside and break the water and go inside and feel that he's close to Hashem by torture. This is totally not religion. It's not holiness. The concept of to be holy is that to enjoy all this world, but up to a certain point. It's okay, but it's not for me. It's good. It's good. So let's say we don't ask you not to get married. We ask you to keep the laws of family purity, but not to avoid happiness as a condition to be holy. It doesn't exist in Judaism. Even we have in our religion, we have one fast written in the Torah, Yom Kippur. All the other fasts we needed Prophet Zechariah to make a prophecy, צום הרביעי וצום החמישי וצום השביעי וצום העשירי יהפכו לכם he talks about 4 fasts, and based on this, we were Kovei with Zayin B'Tammuz, V'Tisha B'Av. Without it, we couldn't make this fast, because in Judaism there is no mitzvah to torture yourself in order to be holy. Holiness means, as Gaon Vilna used to say, we used to call it Ta'anit Agra. You take an apple, you want to eat an apple. Eat it, but just wait 5 seconds. Eat it. Wait 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, eat it and enjoy it. And this 5 seconds is like you fast the whole day. Why? Because I want it. Because there is a certain excitement that can drive you crazy.
תנאי גם דרך ארץ?
איך?
זה גם יכול להיות תנאי דרך ארץ?
You go to morals and values, which is wonderful. I'm talking about something far away. The idea of to be kadosh.
So now,
Yes.
when we have all this from Ari, we could bring some of the stuff that you just mentioned. So how is this?
It's not recommended by everybody, not to everybody. כל מיני גלגולי שלג, דברים כאלו. It's definitely it's addition from the future, from the very late. In Judaism, in Judaism, we never encourage torture as a process in Avodat Hashem. For example, we say that you have to work on yourself not to get angry, to be able to forgive, to forget. This we teach in Judaism. But to torture yourself as the ultimate goal is the problem. This not. מה זה להיות קדוש? Is not to get married. You're getting married, but do it in the right way. להיות קדוש means that, so you are married, and your husband and wife, and you live normally, don't start to live in fantasies. That in the outside is better, and over there is better. My wife, God bless her, on Friday, I left the house, in the house 9 o'clock in the morning, as there is a lady calling her. She doesn't get along with her husband. When I came back around 12, they were still on the phone for 3 hours. And my wife was real Mesirut Nefesh. Friday, you know, when you're a guest, and there is so I was very proud of her, and she told me that basically this lady, she is in a fantasy world. She feels that she has children, and she has a good husband, and she is a good wife. But now she starts to understand that maybe she feels that on the street there are better husbands, and without a husband her life will be paradise, honeymoon. And when my wife was telling her that this is not the real life, she was very difficult in this. She said no. She tried to make her point. And she tried to explain how she is the victim, and how she's Mrs. Perfect, and her husband is Mr. Evil. And my wife told her, maybe he's evil, but you need 2 jokers to one is not enough. It was very difficult because she is the victim. And it's very difficult to deal with victims, you know. You can kill a person, but they're still the victim. So then my wife, when I spoke to her in the evening, I told her, so what do you think? She says she's in a fantasy. She was losing this mitzvah of being kadosh. This is when we lose it. And why I'm telling this to you today? Because America try to do it to every person who come over here. America will give us values of be successful, no matter what is the price. Work 7 days a week, work Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, everything, because you have to be successful. You have to have power, and you have to have money, and you have to have ego, and nobody should tell you what to do. This prescription kill every progress in spirituality. Why? Because where is Hashem? Hashem is the... So who is for them Hashem? Hashem is somebody with a lot of money. That's all. Huh? This is the power. Everything is power. And of course, it's nice to have nice living, and it's wonderful, but this is the ultimate goal. Then you see all the results. So why there is so much pressure on marriage life here in America? Because instead of looking for Kedusha in life, we're looking for ego, my way, I'm right, he's wrong, she's wrong. And we don't understand that suddenly we feel that to be beautiful and to be nice is something that it's nothing to do with holiness, which is not true. So you go to a wedding, you see the husband, you see the Chatan Vekala. Maybe it looks nice, but not holy. Maybe it looks nice by the eyes of the modern way of that every woman has to be a source of temptation, as opposed to. And then we have many problems, because you see how it starts. So we have a big problem over here. In our society, we have a big problem because the culture of this society is anti-Kedusha. To be good, it's enough. Not get caught is enough. But to be holy? Let's go with your permission to another depth and connect it tonight to the Askara of Moshe Rabbeinu. When you work on yourself and you start to put your ego aside, you start to understand what the world is all about, you're going to calm down. Moshe Rabbeinu, he was a victim of Am Israel in the Galut. Moshe Rabbeinu once he killed somebody that tortured a Jew. What happened? Two Jewish people come and told him, hey, we got your name. We're going to send to the KGB. And then they sold to Moshe Rabbeinu to the government, and Moshe Rabbeinu was wanted, and he ran away from Egypt. He was far away from his father and mother, brother and sister, cousin, and for 65 years, he was a wanderer Jew. In a deserted place like Har Sinai, nobody's there. On the way he met the wife, the daughter of Yitro. But all his life he was on the run. Why? Because they want to kill him. Who want to kill him? The Egyptian. Why? Because Jewish people took care of this. So when Hashem is telling, go, let my people, go to help me to redeem Am Yisrael and Mitzrayim, the first reaction should be, שעשול נדידה, בוא שעשול חזון ממונה. 65 years, okay, another 65 years, okay. I'll be over here, a few sheep, Hashem, תהילים, אני בסדר. Moshe tell him no. Moshe goes and he fights, and in the desert, all the time we see the same thing. Hashem is telling to Moshe, I would like to destroy everybody. Hashem says, start with me. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu understands that in the depths, in order to be holy, is to lower your ego, to be in the world, but to understand that there is thing much more. Will be a tool to give you to continue. Why people start to have a problem with harayot, with adultery, with everything? Because they think too much about themselves. And they become very mean to each other. And a few months ago, there was a big Hasidic rabbi in Brooklyn that unfortunately one of his students, in order to save his life, he gave the name of the rabbi and put the blame on the rabbi. And the rabbi said that, so they asked him to cooperate, either against you, or against him, you know. The rabbi said, I'm going to be quiet. And he has to spend now a few years, lo alenu, in prison, because one of his own people wanted to be very successful very, very quickly. And he said, as a Jew, I cannot give a counter-testimony to hurt another Jew. And this is the, but here in America, we see people, religious people, they're making so many weird things, and you say to yourself, wait, so why are you doing it? And this is the idea of this, the lack of kedusha, and to use the religion as a source of power, and it's something which is very scary. And you have to be very, very, very sensitive and very bright.
Against another Jew not to go and understand, but to save himself, to protect himself, you are.
He called all his students to Borough Park, and he told them, I decided that if somebody did something wrong to me, doesn't give me the right to be mean to him.
You don't have to be mean to him. You have to save yourself. You have to. No?
I'm not here to decide. I'm just telling you, talking about people that are highly respected in the Jewish world, in the religious world. And this is when you're losing the holiness, it's a problem. There was a butcher in a very religious neighborhood that sold, instead of glad kosher, regular kosher meat. And this person, he dressed very nicely, and used to go to mikveh every morning, and used to learn Daf Yomi, and keep Shabbat, and sell no kosher, not kosher enough to his people. And you ask yourself, well, what happened? What happened? At a certain point, they took the kedusha from the life, and it's become like source of income. So what's the difference? So I cannot justify, but if somebody from our community, not religious, that I caught something in his store that I'm not so sure about his kashrut, it's a big violation, but at least he never pretend to be religious. But talk about somebody that is inside the community and is feeding somebody else in not kosher thing, which is. But because when you take the point of holiness and you start to be involved in this world too much, this is the end of this. And America, which is the land of opportunities, is a big, big, big challenge to somebody to stay holy. You can build a wonderful temple, and people can come and learn and pray. But when you go to Ben Adam Lechavero, it's become very dangerous. So we say, so what is this? What's the purpose of everything? There was a rabbi by the name Sfat Emet, very holy rabbi in Poland. One, he came to his grandfather, Chidushei Harim, and he told him, grandfather, I see over here all your Hasidim around you. Everybody is wearing white. It looks a white table. Everything looks good. I don't see Yetzer Hara over here. Where is the Yetzer Hara? So the rabbi told him, my dear grandson, if God forbid, I'm taking from the heart the real point of to be honest and to be holy, everything is just a show. So, the way that today religious women dresses, If the purpose of their dressing is to be nice to their husbands, I can understand. But if they make it so important that all the neighborhood should look at them, it's not a mitzvah anymore. So I spoke to one of them, I told him, why you dress like you? He said, Rabbi, where is the mitzvah in the Torah not to look nice? I say, you're right, there is a mitzvah to look nice, but not to the entire country. I didn't say this mitzvah, I know the mitzvah to be nice to your husband. No, I have to look this, and you have to know, you have to understand, I am not 19 years old woman, and all this nice story that they say about from Bereshit bara Elokim.
That's what you say about Hashem, that you're not only...
I know. The other things for men too, you know, it goes, and you say something very, very true, Malka, it goes to everybody in every level. And everybody in his own mishugat. But the idea is like this. What I want from it? Do I want to be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and to be, thanks to this, to be holy? Or I just want to be nice to this and nice to this and nice to this? What I want. And this is something which we can miss big time. Not because we are bad. Because there is we lost this drive. We lost this drive. We just want to be, we want to be normal, which means we're not normal. Somebody made a wedding in 2 weeks and he called me, so I was sitting over there 2 days, so somebody calling, he said, "It's going to be a normal wedding or a religious wedding?" I told him, you have to ask different, it was normal or not religious, but he said, no, it was a normal. So normal and abnormal is something which is very, is changeable. But we have, it is going to be kosher, pure, or holy or not holy. And this we'll see. You know, one of my students, he wants to make an event. So he come to ask me how to do it. So he has a wedding, he has an event in a few months. His child bar mitzvah. So when he got married, I remember there was a wall, there was a mechitza, there was men and women, it never a question. Now we had the son bar mitzvah, so he's telling me, I want the husband, the men and women to sit together and say they separate dancing, and I want to make this and I want to do this. Maybe halachically it makes sense. But from Kedusha point of view, he went down from his wedding to his son bar mitzvah. It took him 13 years, Baruch Hashem, for this. But I told him, maybe halachically you're right, but direction-wise you're wrong. Because when you start to go down, it's flying. Well, I told him that even the fact that he asked me this question, it shows that he lost something. This way, the idea is that we have to, are you in the race of to be kadosh because Hashem, you want to be close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you want to be really holy? Or you just, I just want to live nice, I'm upset, so I'm going to... There is a big dispute in Israel in the last few years about the wigs that the women wear. And every year it's become more and more, longer and more sophisticated. A few years ago they made over there was a problem with the source of the area. It fell from India, from Avodah Zarah. So now Baruch Hashem they have the selling pe'ah, shmura mishat ktsira. It is going to be that it's kosher from the time of the like matzot. But again, it can be the wig can be a source of the woman to go up with this. But as longer as the wig become, as the lower as the kedusha goes, because they want to look like something that nobody asked them to look like. But again, if you're lost the race of kedusha, you're going to find all kind of decisions that are going to be very weird. So, ועשו לי מקדש ושכנתי בתוכם is a mitzvah that Hashem demands from all of us in our level not to forget about this world, but to find the right portion when the world works with you to become close to Hashem and not the opposite. And you're going to find many, many questions about it, and you have to follow by a rabbi to teach you the right way. This week on Tuesday, I had a phone call from a couple that we married them 5 years ago. Nice couple. They start to be religious, and then when they got married, they stopped to come slowly to Shurim, and then slowly to come on Motzei Shabbat. And they told me, Rabbi, we are on our own. We live okay, everything. So they call me now. They have 2 children, and they call me that they want to divorce. And the same thing. He stopped learning, she stopped to respect him, he will start to be mean, and then they have this computer, and when he's fighting with her, so he's in computer, she's on her computer, and then they come to me to make shalom bayit, so we say, Rabbi, Shev, I didn't know there is something that's called Adin Klasnik, Adin something? Adna Klasna. There is a website of same classmate. And I'm telling you, it makes such a destruction in our community. I am aware of 10 couples that are facing problem because of this. 10 couples, and recently. He is with his own friend, she is with her own friends. They don't fight with each other, they send text to each other already, email to each other, they don't fight with each other. And then go and take the children, bring this, there is no...
So first thing, you have to break the computer.
No, I didn't say to break the computer. I say use it to make money, if you want to. Use it to hear Torah anytime if you want. I don't say, to be kadosh doesn't mean to avoid yourself from this world.
לא מסתדר.
I'm לא מסתדר, yes. If you say, Rabbi, when I come to the computer, I'm going nowhere, take a hammer and say, Mishabara, now Pesach is coming, put in the Srefat Chametz, no problem. Because this is the way that you can handle it. But if somebody can handle it, somebody wants to drink, he likes to drink on Friday night l'chaim. And he drinks 1 cup and he feels good and he goes to sleep and does use it for until next week, it's okay. But if it's 1 cup and then 2 and then Simcha Yishmo and then every night it's become Shivichor Purla and become like this, he has to understand, I have a problem with this. Kedoshim tiyu ki kadosh ani. It's a very difficult mission, but it's the only way to do it. If God forbid, one of us will take the kedusha from our life, all the things are going to just fall apart. So, tonight is the night of Moshe Rabbeinu. Tonight is a beautiful night. We just come from Brit Yitzchak. Tomorrow, one of our students, he has a Brit tomorrow. I would like to pray for Hashem, that Hashem should give to us tons of Kedusha, and to elevate us spiritually, to understand, to live this world, to enjoy this world, but not to forget that the biggest mitzvah is to be holy and to focus with our connection to us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.